Whether it is a commercial kitchen or a home kitchen, the one piece of equipment you must have absolutely is a good blender. So you can do really nice smooth purees, you can do smoothies, and emulsions and sauces and soups and blend stuff generally. So that's why I want to show you a blender from Royal Catering. Before I go into some questions, frequently asked questions I found on the internet, let me just go through some technical details. So, the whole device works with 1500 watts, so it is quite powerful. In order to make it work, you just plug it in a normal wall socket and you're ready to go. The rotations for this thing, the range of rotations is between 15 and 38,000 rotations per minute. So it goes really, really fast and it is quite powerful. It will literally turn gravel into sand. So I'll show you in a second how powerful it really is. But couple more things. It comes with a 2-liter plastic jug, and actually I prefer plastic rather than glass ones. I've seen glass blenders break during service. I've never seen a plastic blender break, like, you know, completely explode. So that's actually a very cool thing. One thing you need to check while buying or looking at a blender is the top seal, or well, the top cover. The lid, in this case, it's slightly rubberized, and it needs to produce a really nice seal because you don't want to, repaint your kitchen every time you're blending. So it needs to stay firmly on top and not release any liquid from inside, so it doesn't go over the edges. One thing to remember about the lid, though, is to look for that hole. So it's plugged with a plastic cover, but this is actually something very, very useful. So what is this for? Well, certain things in the kitchen require adding ingredients while the device is operating, like dressings, or if you want to make a really nice smooth puree, so you're adding butter while the device is already blending. So you just basically open it up and slowly add oil for your dressing, for example. Also in the set you get a plunger, or a tamper if you will. So if you have something really thick inside and you see that the device is not really catching all the ingredients, you can help the whole process and push the ingredients down into the blending unit. So that's also very useful. All right, while we still have the blender, the jug, let's talk about the blades. That's actually one of the most frequently asked questions if it comes to blenders, what the blade is made of. In this case it's high-grade Japanese steel, so it is really sturdy, it is really sharp, and the very cool feature about the blending unit is you can disassemble it. Why would you need that? Well, first of all, for cleaning purposes. Of course, when you're cleaning on the go, you can perform a quick clean. So what you do is just add some detergent into the jug, add some water up to the 1/3 of the depth. Just let it work for a minute or two and the blender will be clean. However, if you want to perform a deep clean, a thorough clean, it's great that you can disassemble all the parts, put it in the dishwasher, sanitize it, and of course for sharpening. And while we're talking about sharpening, there's another very cool feature, namely you can disassemble the blade unit as well. So you just unscrew it and you can release all the blades for sharpening purposes. So that's really great because sharpening it in this state will be quite hard, although not impossible, but still that makes it really easy. All right, as you can see, 6 blades. The more blades, the better, I say. As you can see, they're sidely profiled, and that's really great when you are blending because they will sort of lift up and create a really cool vortex, so all the stuff will be nicely pureed or blended. All right, let's reassemble. So the blending unit will fit only one way. Let me just find it. It needs to be properly inserted so it doesn't move. And when you put the base back together, well, always check the seal. You want to make sure that it's really well aligned. And when you screw it down, there's one tricky thing. It needs to be tight, but not too tight. So you don't want the jack to leak, but then again, you want to be able to disassemble it later on for cleaning purposes, so it can't be too tight. All right. So it's sort of, when it's tight, it's tight. All right. So in order to blend, there's one more thing to remember. There is a safety, so the device will not start, no matter what you do, if the blender is not in position. And you can put it in any position because there's like 4 bolts, so doesn't matter which way. The beep signalizes that it is ready to work, but so you can put it in any position you like, depending on your setup of your section. All right, let's go quickly over the controls. So first of all, you can set the speed from low through medium to high. So when you start at low, it's 15,000 rotations per minute. If you go on high, it will go to 38,000. If you want to operate the device with your hands off, you can choose the time. So if you know that your smoothie, for example, takes 35 seconds to blend each and every time, you can just simply press the 35-second button and you can do whatever in the meantime. Of course, the device also has a pulse function. So if you're doing a quick chopping, or you're doing a pesto or something, you can use the pulse function. So when you release the button, the device will stop working. All right. So one of the very frequently asked questions I want to answer today is whether the device can crush ice. So instead of telling you, let me just show you. So let's take some ice, let's break it up just a little bit, just so it fits in the jar. There you go, large rocks. Because it is so powerful, you don't need to cut up your ingredients too much. Of course it helps and it will reduce the time of blending, but honestly it is not absolutely necessary. It's so powerful. So just add a few ingredients. I'm making a fruit smoothie. As you can see, I'm not mucking around, just throwing ingredients in. One of my favorite ingredients, and a secret one, is the grenadine sugar syrup. There you go. So add that. Everything tastes better with a bit of sugar. And pop the lid on. Make sure you plug up the top. And there comes one advice coming from a chef who already made that mistake a couple of times. Every time you start blending, make sure, even though I told you about a nice seal on this one, always hold on to the lid, always press it down, especially when you're blending hot food, because when you start swirling around hot food, it will expand, create pressure, and when you don't hold it, the pressure is so high, it will just pop the lid and you will repaint the kitchen. So trust me, I've made the mistake a couple of times in my life, so now I always hold on to it. All right, so I reckon it will take approximately a minute to blend that ice with the fruit. So I just push the time button, and when you push the time button, by the way, it goes straight to 38,000 rotations, so the high rotations. One thing that is really great with the device, it doesn't start with 38. It starts low and it becomes goes higher, cranks up over time as it goes. All right, so. All right, the blending stopped. When the process stops, you can hear this sound. So let's check the result, the outcome. All right, that looks beautiful. There you go. As you can see, nice and smooth. 60 seconds is absolutely enough to crush all that ice and give you a perfect smoothie. All right, so I hope I answered all your questions. I hope I told you everything there is about the blender. I thank you guys very much for watching, and I see you next time.